Hello everyone and welcome back to Western Canada Classics. We are out here on a beautiful Wednesday. It's nice and warm and we're doing a pre-auction here. I'm going to do a little walk around and show the tractors here at the Jeffrey and Aubrey Day sale. It's on March 31st, 2025. We'll start off with the IH and then get to the green stuff. If you guys are anywhere nearby, I encourage you to come out and check this out in person. You got another 10 days or so. It's absolutely beautiful here in the Saskatchewan River Valley. Starting out here, we got a beautiful little cub. I've always had a soft spot in my heart for these little guys. Great little tractors that you'd see in gardens, and large gardens I should say, and great for cultivating and doing all that little stuff for the small farmer. Moving up to the next size is the A. You see these a little bit more than the Cubs, I find. You can find these a little bit more regular, I should say, in our area. But the Cubs are so cool because they're just so small. Got a C. The H. H's are very, very common as I can remember. I don't know what this guy is. But as you guys can see now, everything has been labeled by Ritchie's. So we'll try and get those numbers in there so you know if you go on the website, if you look it up, the Jeffrey and Aubrey Day sale, you'll be able to find it. Got a Super MTA here. And a lot of these guys, you know, over the winter the tires have stayed up well. And unlike everybody's opinion, they haven't just deteriorated over the winter because they got a bit of snow on them. Moving up to a newer 460 here, loader. 560 and a 660, they got them all in order. Again, I don't know which ones do run here, guys, which ones don't. Flipping around here, we got our whole line of McCormick's here. We got W4 starting out, 6 TA, W9, and then what do we got on that? Oh, a WD9, nice. I'll have to start looking for these tags. That one says runs, clean fuel in the system, so that's good to know. Kind of cool seeing them all side by side so you can compare the size of that 9 to the 6s and the 4s. Pretty cool. This one's got some factory additional fenders here, not factory I should say, but I believe these are homemade or maybe they were aftermarket. Somebody will chime in on that. And the 9 here is just significantly larger. And for anybody that didn't know about these WD9s, you're going to get a little bit of a surprise here, and I encourage you to do a little bit of research. So you're going to look at this side of the engine, you're going to see spark plugs and a carburetor and some linkages. And when you come over to this side, you're going to see a diesel injection pump and injectors. Yes, these engines ran on gas to start. Carburetor was fixed, and then in an abrupt motion you would pull, I believe, a lever, and it would increase your compression to diesel spec. It would close off a chamber in the head or something and switch over to the diesel pump, and then they would run on diesel. You just had to get them warm on the gas to get them going first so they could start back in the day. And that was a way to have a diesel tractor and be able to start the thing back in the day before good batteries and all that jazz, I'm pretty sure, was the idea behind it. The McCormick Deerings are all lined up in suitable fashion here from small to big. It's odd, I never see these little guys. I don't know the numbers of them. But man, were they ever a small little tractor. Like, it's actually hard to think that you're even sitting in here. It's so small and tight. I don't know where your legs, I guess your feet would go in there, but man, they were definitely not the most comfortable tractor to run. This one here outfitted with the aircraft tires. I think that was a thing that they did back in the wartime. It was a way for them to get tires. And here is the 1020. I would say that these are the most common that you see. And this one's been painted up back in the day and deckled. And an au naturel one here. Someone had some fun with the PTO back in the day. I'd like to know the story behind that. Which one is this? W30. Not sure on the model of this one. It's got some custom extensions on there. I bet that would work pretty good actually. This one, WK40. Never heard of that one. And then this one is another one. These ones are significantly larger than what we first seen back there. Onto our earlier F30 here. These ones were pretty cool because this one's, oh, it's actually missing one, but you'll see these pulleys up here, and these pulleys were hooked into your steering here, and when you cranked it, say you went all the way to the left, it would apply the brake through this cable system right here. And into there, it would apply that brake drum and then make it so you could crank. I mean, if you're going right, it would apply that brake and then it would crank you right around because that tire would be at a standstill. This one here is missing some parts. And a lot of these, you know, they had a resto or were painted up, I should say, back in the day. And then they sat for years and years in the shed, and now they're here for somebody else to enjoy. Kind of looking forward to seeing online or seeing where all these tractors go. I've heard some speculation from guys that a lot of this stuff might end up in the States because their dollar is so close, and you know, we're probably only about, I'd say 2.5 hours from the Montana border here, so our fellow neighbors can come up and grab this stuff. This one's got the custom wheel weights in here. December 2nd, 1949. It's kind of cool that they did that actually. I think they did the other wheel at the same time. Yep. Not labeled though. And for our Oliver guys here, we got an Oliver 77. Actually, Super, I think, is that what it says? No, it's not a Super. Wrong brand. Oliver 77, 1952. It says there in the wax. Here we got, was this an 88 or an 80 or something? 80 standard. It's cool. This one is great. It's all, it looks to be original paint, or it's been painted before, but they left a lot of the stuff that you can still see right there. What does it say? Calgary, Regina, something, Saskatoon on the bottom, Oliver Limited. So if that's an 80, is this one an 88? I don't know. Somebody will chime in here. I think if anybody bids on this one, you are going to need a new rim or a very skilled welder with some patience. And this one here is actually a cock shut, which they were pretty well, you know, like the, as I always say, the Chevron GM rule, pickup rule. They're the same thing, different badging. Here we got a big case and an Allis Chalmers on the end. Let's go check out these JDs. Alright, I think they got these lined up old to new. Think about our newest here would be the 59 style, large 2-cylinder diesels, which we'll check out because those are beautiful tractors. These old D's though, with the spoked rims, I've always had a love for these tractors too. Had a toy John Deere since I was a kid. This one here, significantly larger, bigger wheels, and they slowly went throughout the years from unstyled to styled. And as you can see on these old girls, you were basically a differential and a gas tank, and there was no creature comforts. You were sitting out the back here, steering wheel off to the side. These correct fenders on this one, or those? They remind me like they should be off of a Fordson. They got that style. Anyways, steering wheel still off to the center, and as they evolved, started getting more into the center, and the comforts were starting to come around. You got gauges to keep an eye on stuff, and you know, you got your hood now encased. Kind of cool to see the evolution here. Now we switch from their 70, 60, 50, a G, and so on. And these ones, got your beautiful seat where it should be, right there. Compared to those old D's, this thing was like being in a Cadillac. A lot of these look like the fuel bowls have been cleaned out and are in, you know, hopefully easy to start order, but I'm not sure. Haven't seen many more tags saying what runs and what doesn't. 530. Once we get done with this row, we'll be on to the big diesel stuff that everybody wants to see. But yeah, all the fuel bowls look very, very clean, so I presume the ones with the fuel bowls that are clean, they've had them running, or they're trying at least to have them in better condition than full of stale fuel. Okay. Wheel weight's tied into this one. This little guy here doesn't have the nicest paint job on her. It's little Model B here, I believe. And these ones here, you don't ever see very many of these, or that I've seen at least. They were quite the little thing. They almost remind me of the Farmall Cubs, but smaller. But what a funky looking thing. They were just designed for the small farmers and large garden farmers, I should say, that were doing large gardens. They would be perfect for that. Little 2-cylinder engine, and these ones are actually in really nice shape. No creature comforts here. Drive shaft straight back. Quite the setup. Don't grab a hold of that while she's running. And then moving up here, we got a 40, 420, and these ones here, guys, you can see that they've actually been retroed to an alternator there, so I can pretty well guarantee that one runs, or won't be hard to get running. 430 row crop, whatever John Deere use for their naming on that, but tricycle style, whatever nickname you got in your part of the world. 520, I guess this would be a cultivator for underneath here. Attachment you don't see every day, so that's kind of cool with the hydraulic setup on the side of it. Man, those seats. Farmers that evolved through this history would have just been, you know, in awe seeing what, you know, this is all for your seat, I believe. Yeah, 100 to 150, light, average, and heavy. And I bet this seat was definitely an option, because that's got to be a lot comfier than the old steel seat. And let's get on to our nice big diesel stuff that everybody wants to see. These ones all look like they've been done at a later point, and a lot of the diesel stuff is actually left as original, not restored, which is pretty cool. And it seems to be the thing, you know, 40 years ago everybody wanted this. They wanted something that was painted up and prettied and made to look like what they remembered when they were a kid. But now, just like an old car, you want to find these in original shape, because there's no layers of Bondo, you know, nobody's went through them. They're original. And, you know, even the original wiring is nice, so if you're rewiring it, you know what you got. Everything was as intended in the factory, and, you know, Grandpa Bob and his neighbor Fred didn't jimmy up the wiring on it. She's all factory. This one's actually got remotes, ammo box. What a platform. I'd love to run one of these old girls. 80. Dual remotes on the back of this one. Just massive cylinders on these old ones. I don't know how familiar or similar all these models are, but I know on these large, the 720s and stuff, 830s, all that stuff, they were, you know, 6 or 6.5 inch bore or something crazy like that. Basically a couple Folgers cans going back and forth in there. But John Deere, I believe, used this opposed design up till 59. The John Deere experts will chime in, but that ain't me. Could hear these things thumping from a long way away, hence the Johnny Popper name. I've had guys telling me before that they don't make a very good PTO tractor because there's such a long duration between the thump of each cylinder that PTO shaft, you know, when an engine fires, it goes quick and then slows down, goes quick and slows down, because there's not, you know, 6 cylinders or 4 to even it out. That I've heard that it's hard on PTO implements. We'll take a quick look at the trucks here and stuff, and the new headers and stuff here. We're going to try and keep this antique here at the starting, and we'll pop up and check the old stuff out on the hill here. And here we got this Oxford, or it's a Morris. I guess the model is an Oxford 1500. Don't know a lot about these cars since they're from overseas, but all I can tell you is that this old girl's in good shape. Hence where we are. Like I've said in my last videos, guys, like here it's just, we're right in the valley here. It's very dry. Great spot to preserve cars, that's for sure. Spare tire. I think I showed you guys inside last time. Floors actually look pretty decent in here. Really decent, actually. There's a lot of crap in there though. Headliner hanging down and stuff, but need to find some seats for it. This is a Rambler. You'd swear that that's like what a funky design, you know. It's almost looking like it's a reverse it could go forwards and reverse. Yeah, I bet that window is probably not the easiest to find. Cool dash in there. Still frosty here. We were down to -5 last night and just getting warm now. Little Dodge 400, really cool styling. This must be about a late, I'm guessing 58, 59 with those dual headlights. What we got for an engine? Not a Hemi? No. Hard to see. Alright, get that down so the wind doesn't pick her up. There we go. Tag along 5th wheel plate here. Old excavator here. This thing actually be pretty handy, or whatever you want to call it. Midwestern Industries, Wichita. 210. Be handy. It'd be awkward to run. You'd almost have to have a guy on the tractor pulling it with the PTO going and another guy operating it, because otherwise you're just digging a hole. But if you do any trenching or anything, you'd pretty well have to have 2 operators. Grader. Skip through this stuff. And the threshers, this one had been painted up at some point. It's got the endless belt there. I don't know what kind this one was. This one's McCormick Deering. These things are just littered all over the country. You see them everywhere. This one actually says it's a 28 Bell City. That's why I don't recognize it. You see these McCormicks, but you don't see them everywhere. Old green truck here. You won't find a better spot to find rust-free stuff than here. V8. And this one here with the 427, we seen that last time. And this one is new though. This thing is in beautiful shape. This one with the hydro deck on it. 4-wheel drive. Five-speed. Really good shape interior. This seat, it's got a little rip there, but man, this thing's in really nice shape. And the body is, yeah, it's a 90s vehicle. You gotta slam the door, but that, with the Cypress motors, that's a local dealer close by. That's original paint for sure. Bed, everything looks like it's in really good shape. This would be a very handy truck to own. Plus, you're getting these rare old mud flaps that you cannot find. Somebody reproduced them a couple years ago, but you can't find them anymore. They're so cool. They have had them for Alberta, all the provinces. They were repopping them, but those are originals. This old Ford actually is in good shape too. And this one here, well, it ain't in the best of shape. Nice comfy old interior in it though. Some nice handy trailers. We'll just pan through here quick. And we got the guard dogs right here. We got a lot of new stuff. We'll touch base on this stuff at the end of the video, but we're gonna keep continuing on tractors for now. Cat selling off some of their new equipment here. 9230 case. Nice 1256. 13,180 hours on August 4th, 22. I don't suspect it has very many more than that now. Even though that was almost 3 years ago. Seems like yesterday. 400 here. What we got for a loader on there? M&D Suppliers Regina. I don't know what kind of loader that is though. Diesel 400 here. Pounder. This one, some of these guy could get looking pretty good with a pressure washer and some degreaser, but a lot of the times when these ones have been repainted like this, they don't look the greatest until you repaint them again. Okay, in our old section here, we got these old Richard road machineries. I believe these were made up in Saskatoon. Here, another 10, 20. All this stuff up here is, you know, pretty well roached in parts and pieces. Basically all good for parts, you know. Some of them are piled in there. This one, the engine's just tossed into here. They just threw her in there. A lot of it would have been acquired for free or next to nothing just to save it, because people did care about the stuff. This is what made them their living, and they respected it. But when it was time to move on to something new, there was a time there where people liked to keep this stuff preserved. But for a young guy to get into this stuff now, the prices are just so expensive. It's not a cheap man's hobby, it's a rich man's hobby now, and unfortunately with the price of everything these days, not a lot of people getting into it. So let's check out the old Titan here. Missing parts, but you get a lot of tractors. You don't see very many of these. In one of my last videos I seen 2 of them over in Manitoba and Killarney. Check out that video if you want to see them. It's probably about 3/4 of the way through the video. But if some guy had another parts tractor, you could get one up and going. They're pretty cool. It's missing a lot of the guts in there, but nice old unit. Overlooking the valley here, it is just beautiful. There is a few old implements there, but if you want to see them, check out the last video. I just noticed that this old air conditioner on here on the way down, it's pretty crude, but it kept you cool. On our way down here, you'll get better pictures in the listings on Ritchie's site for sure on those. Some augers, and then over here there's a bunch of these 360 Massey. What we got? 1, 2, 3, 5 of them. Big Rockmaster here. Roller. Old square body, well, it's not square body, 90s Chev bed. Not the cleanest for your restoration if you're looking for one. Cement mixers, anvil, you got all your stuff here. But these old oil drums are super cool. This one here's Sask Federated Co-op, Federal Oil, Imperial Oil, American Oil. What's this one? Maple Leaf Oil, Federated Co-op. I believe that's what these ones are too. Imperial Oil, these are all Imperial Oil Co-op. Consumers Co-op. Pretty cool to see all these. Definitely built a lot heavier than the ones we got nowadays. This here, I don't know what it is. Is that a pipe bender or tube bender, homemade, that you put your pipe in there? It's got a control valve off of, looks like a JD, and pretty slick. You'd move your bolts or your dies, and I guess you could bend pipe with that. Old disc, some wheels. This one here, Chevrolet 1500 with that emblem. I'm trying to figure out, is this off of a larger truck? But it says 1500. Either way, nice, really nice straight hood. These, I want to say they're barn beams, but I don't think they are. The way that they're beat up, and we're so close to the river here, I don't know where they would have been. Just the way that they're beat up almost looks like they could have been floating around on the river at some point in their life. If you need any racking, this is the place to go. There is all kinds of it here. Different styles, a teardrop style it says, and some of them are the newer style that I don't know what you call that, with the hook, the 3 hooks in them, kind of like these, but lots of stuff. Okay, and in the building, for everybody that was concerned last fall, the critical stuff did get put inside. Bandsaw, air compressors, some nice old jacks there. I like those old railway jacks, or whatever you want to call them. Nice old Esso gas pumps here. Somebody's painted them up before, a little easier to see now. Tractor seats, Deering, International Heater Stove Co. Would have been off an old wood stove or an oil stove. Some other miscellaneous stuff. Nice bar stool somebody made here. Kind of cool. Random axle parts and stuff. I don't know what those are off of. I don't see a name. Somebody will know what those are off of. Tractor tires. Grain cleaner. More tires here. Belts. Tractor seats. Gas tanks. Fuel tanks. If you need a magneto, here you go. Lots of them. Some old JD tin work there. Mirrors, hard hats. JD 70 there, front end. Sheet metal, brake linings. More tanks. And just what, like I was saying before, guys. I mean, these are some of your cylinders. Those are pretty big, but nothing like the big boys. Look at the size of the valves in there, just massive. There's a lot of other stuff around that RV back there, and some with cedar stuff over here, cultivator stuff. These two 9770s are all in the sale, but check them out online. Alright, thanks for watching everyone, and I hope you enjoyed this pre-auction video. Check it out if you're interested in any of this stuff. It's on Ritchie Brothers site under the Jeffrey and Aubrey Day sale. You'll find it if you just type that into Google. Anyways, hope you love this. What an amazing spot to see. Really beautiful scenery. Nice spring day. And I hope you enjoyed the video. We apologize for the delay on the winter. Everything was covered in snow and I couldn't film anything. I got some spring videos here lined up to film, some cool old junkyards and some classics on the way. So until then, stay tuned, and I actually got up some cool hats made. So if you want one, let me know, and I just made up a few of them for now in case anybody wanted one. So thanks for watching and stay tuned.